Hello, my fellow Gargoyles. Welcome back to, well, basically to the finale of U.S. Prisons Play Five Nights at Freddy's, or Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location. I'm just tired. I'm so sorry. But yes, this is it. 7 and 8. This will be it for Sister Location. Now, I'm going to make a decision. I do take breaks from here and there just to try reacting to other things, or do my tier lists, or do whatever the series they do. That's just how I do things. I don't just focus on one thing at a time. Or freaking like focus on one channel and do the stuff like that. Like for channels like this that are still going with their series, I just let them build up their stuff before I go and react to stuff like that. Just like, you know, Sister Location's already been known for a while. I mean, here it says 4 months ago. They already got number 5 in the simulator pizzeria thing, and the other custom night, maybe, whatever the heck it is, but we'll get to those eventually. Anyway, link in the description below for the channel and the 2 videos, just in case you want to check it out by yourself. Without further ado, let's get into it in 3, 2, 1, go!
In the liminal space that we call an office.
You're going again?
I was close my first try. I may beat it this time around.
Just be on the lookout for Ennard. It has the stalking capability of a Swiftie.
Speaking of, have you heard of her relationship with that NFL player?
Of course I've heard of it. Who hasn't?
Wait, Ennard is in the vent this early? Oh, something tells me
Travis
this might
Kelce and
wild.
Taylor Swift,
With the paparazzi swarming around them like bees, it's a wonder if you haven't heard of it.
I think Donald even made a comment about it.
Doesn't surprise me. You always need to throw in your 2 cents worth.
If people didn't care about what I had to think, there wouldn't be millions of articles published about me every single day.
I wouldn't say millions, but you do have some interesting bootlickers.
All I said was that I wish the best for them, and I hope they enjoy their life, whether they'll be together or not. But I doubt it if we're being realistic.
Did you actually say that you doubt they'll stay together?
Why wouldn't I? They're very much aware of their past relations. I doubt they're completely oblivious to all of their red flags.
Damn.
You're telling me you have hope for that?
He left that one girl for her, or so I heard. I don't really know. You're the one that's a tad bit involved in celebrity business.
Anytime I gossip about someone, I just feel like a high schooler. Better to just avoid it all.
Okay, there's no way either of you have faith in them, right?
I really don't care to try to develop it. Not my life, so it really has nothing to do with me.
I couldn't care less either. But I've seen households with welfare checks and food stamps be more stable than Taylor Swift's relationships.
I think the insult was a tad bit unnecessary. Now, if it was her music...
Sounds like we found a new torture method.
Forget waterboarding. Here's 10 hours of blank space, slowed and reverbed.
Thanks for the idea.
I'm so confused behind the power consumption of this game. The doors are barely closed, yet somehow I always have 0 power in the tank.
What do you mean? You closed the door just now.
You know what I meant? Stop pitching up the attitude.
The good ending for Sister Location is a lot more difficult than the 3rd game. The 3rd game, we just had to pass all 5 nights, while this mode is similar to a 6th night of the game.
Baby, your ad-lib isn't necessary to our conversation. Put a sock in it.
Joe, do we have to keep hearing her talk throughout every single time that we attempt the good ending?
Would it anger you if I said yes?
Shut up. Talk to someone who cares. We're just trying to talk bad about celebrities. It's really not that deep.
I'm starting to think that I only have to listen to audio.
You kind of have to, yeah.
These cameras are practically useless if I can hone in on where the sound is coming from.
You already said that. Joe, is there a mute button or something? Like how we could mute the call in FNAF 1?
Unfortunately, no. Trust me. If there was an option, I would have had you guys push it a long time ago.
Well, call me
Fair
a
enough.
schizophrenic patient because the voices just keep getting louder.
Is this what goes on in Jim Jordan's head? No wonder he lost the speaker's gavel.
Are you sure this isn't what goes on in your head?
Blah, blah, blah. Something about a dead person? I don't really care, and baby can't even shut up for a funeral.
I guess that answers my question. I don't even know why it was a question. I kind of knew the answer already.
You know, when we really think about it, we've truly come a long way.
And she's come a long way of not shutting up.
Clarify what you mean, Joe.
Yeah, we haven't progressed since the start of the night. What are you even talking about?
Not the game, you dolt. I'm talking about in general. Have you guys taken a look back at the start of the channel?
Oh yeah, I'll go on a nostalgia binge every now and then.
Haven't you noticed how much has changed? The way we talk to each other, the way we treat each other, and even how we think about each other?
Not one bit. I still get double-teamed like a snuff film, and Joe is still the mastermind behind it all.
I
Damn.
told you that we don't like playing the stereotype of Democrat versus Republican, but you just find a way to mold us right into it.
I'm not changing who I am for who you want me to be.
You really don't see the difference?
I'm not saying we haven't gotten better. We were the best to begin with, the very best, and now we're the best even more,
Yeah, but he's talking about personal growth.
to which I'm the best at.
So you agree that you've grown as a person?
Well, I walked right into that one.
It
Yeah,
helps
you did.
that we had those personal talks. If you think about it, we don't really have those when the cameras turn off.
Yeah, I wonder what everybody thinks happens after the recording is done.
Don immediately leaves, for anyone wondering.
We record on the worst days possible, the absolute worst. Half the time I have to make sure Calamari doesn't trample any quarterly reports, and the other half I have to get slandered on every news outlet.
I'm literally the standing president, and I get here at least an hour early.
You can't stand in the first place. Quit all that yapping.
On second thought, maybe
Damn.
we haven't changed.
I haven't even commented on this, but you're doing a great job at maintaining pace, Barack. You still got a decent amount of power left, and it's already 4 a.m.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but there's
but that's-
an opposite to it.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't even check the cameras at all. It's normally the audio that tips me off on where Ennard really is.
What do you mean by opposite?
The opposite is that it's only 4 a.m. and I only have 19%.
If it was
Well,
5 a.m., that'd be a
18%
different story.
power left.
It just sounds like that electric box isn't persuaded by governmental bribes, Obama.
I think you might be talking from experience. Is that right?
Well, isn't this the pothead calling the cokehead an addict?
You guys are doing anything but helping when I'm trying to play this right now. Maybe we are stuck in FNAF 2 because I feel like an absolute babysitter.
Why did you have to remind me of FNAF 2? Now I'm getting PTSD of Balloon Boy and his sick little laugh when he took the batteries from you.
Really getting worked up over Balloon Boy. He's not even in this game. You think you would have moved on to another antagonist to despise.
If there isn't a local child to lash out against, he doesn't have a strong hatred.
There is a character called Baby in here, though.
Speaking of a child, I think we found the next one that you can insult, Don.
I'm about to insult you. Why are you just sitting there?
I have to.
5 a.m.
I mean, he's just sitting at the door. It just turned 5 a.m. too.
You might have to thug it out. If that means taking a chance with the doors open, then so be it. We don't have enough power for this.
That's what I'm doing. But if it's right at the door, I can't keep it
It's too
open.
late.
1% Obama, I think we're toast.
Is there any delay when the power goes off?
Nope.
You didn't get stabbed, Obama. You died in a horror game. Relax.
Also, I think you already know the answer to the question, but unlike the first game, you do not have a delay where you just sit in the dark. You immediately suffer the consequences.
It would have been
sucks.
nice to know that before my face was caved in like a mine shaft.
I mean, you already did from the last time you got jump scared.
Yeah, but I thought it could have just been a chance that I was fed the short end of the stick.
Nope, that's something to note. There is no buffer when the power goes out. You immediately die.
Enough of the small talk. The world's best security guard is here, so roll out the red carpet and start the show.
I want to say something clever, but I just don't have the energy, Don. Take the keyboard already.
You know what's
Good
something I
luck,
see
buddy.
in the comments a lot?
You still read the comments? I thought you didn't have time anymore.
I go around every now and then, but I do have my own things outside of this.
I do my best. Anyways, I see a decent amount of people going through stressful times, and they actually use our videos to help them through it.
We're trying to have a talk here, baby. Quit yammering.
Would you look at that, Obama? People look up to us.
We are not the people to look up to.
The government in general is not people to look up to. We just make videos.
Moving on, I think it might be a great idea to give people advice.
Again, I don't think we're the best motivational speakers on the planet.
I just don't
And of
care.
course, the cameras
course
that
you don't
shows
care.
FNAF 4.
You don't care about your own family. Why would you about our audience?
Great way to read between the lines, Dingus. You see why that comment didn't affect me? You want to know why, Obama?
Can we just get to Joe's point already?
Sometimes I don't understand why people do the things that they do.
Baby, please stop.
This is about Joe's point. I don't care, Obama. Think about it. If I were to care about what every single person had to say about me, would that make me a happy man?
Well, no.
You liked me.
You've already told me that you can't please everybody.
That's my point. That's my advice. I simply don't care. Because caring about every little thing that happens in life doesn't do anything for you.
It's too tolling on the body, I've heard.
Exactly my point, Obama. Out of all of the things you worry about, have any of them added a single moment to your life?
I can't say they have, no.
So why are you going to spend precious time that you can't make up worrying about people who don't provide anything to your life?
I thought this was advice for the
Exactly.
audience, not me.
It sort of merged into both.
Yeah.
But seriously, how are you going to let someone tell you how to live your own life? That's pathetic. Stand up for yourself and become the man you're supposed to be.
Or woman.
so that we can hide.
Well, I see the vision and where you're coming from.
Imagine if I would have listened to every criticism about my business, every nagging headache from my father. I would have never outgrown my father or his legacy. There comes a time in life when it is best to simply not care. Now is that time.
Okay, I see where you're coming from.
Us like this, we won't be able to try again.
Not too shabby of advice.
The best advice for the best audience, the very best.
Anything that you have to say, Barack?
There's a lot of sayings and phrases that people have probably heard to motivate themselves.
You just heard Donald uncork a whole York graduation speech, after all.
The one time I try to be nice around here.
I guess the best thing I could say is just learn how to get stuff done. Just get stuff done.
Baby, shut up. I'm trying to listen to my good friend Obama. Keep your thoughts to a monologue.
Donald's right. You can never make back wasted time. Cast out all the anxieties, all the overthinking, and all the distractions, and just get stuff done.
That probably would have meant
Yes.
a lot more if you didn't hear a whiny animatronic in the background.
For the first time in our lives, I think we all agree on something. That baby is annoying. What
Yes.
a time to be alive.
Regarding your advice, it was a proper business response. I like that, Obama. A terrific response, very terrific.
And it will only hurt for a moment.
I appreciate that, Don. I'm just speaking from the heart.
It's nice that you guys hold such bold philosophies.
I'd love to hear the old Cracker Barrel rocking chair advice you have to say, Joe.
Hey, cool it.
Damn.
Well, as we've said before, life is never easy. Something's always going on that it feels like the world will cave in at any given moment.
I think the Middle East is a prime example of that.
For everyone out there that finds it hard to keep going. So do I, and so does Donald, and so does Barack. And you guys have probably heard this a million times, but it does get better. It really does.
In the end, everything will be okay. And if it isn't okay, then it isn't the end.
I feel like we're football dads trying to pick the kid that just got mopped by a linebacker.
Everyone feels knocked down after all. Only thing you can do is get back up.
Now we just wait for Tim Allen to come out of a
Yeah, to get
backstage
back up,
curtain
no matter what.
and deliver some slapstick.
This isn't Christmas with the Cranks, Don.
Give it 2 months.
I gotta say, for your first time at this rodeo, you really are doing a good job at keeping everything in check, Donald.
Of course I am. Have we forgotten what the name tag says? I have a reputation to hold as the world's best security guard. And as such, I'll be carrying out my duties with nothing but extreme ease.
It's funny you say that because you're at the exact same amount of power I was at when I ran out the last time. In my professional security guard opinion, you should go light on the doors and the cameras. Unless you want that reputation ruined.
Why is the ghost of Oliver Twist saying hello to me? Does this take place in the UK? Why is he British?
Donald, you're too focused on the way a child speaks and not playing the game. Although her father, William Afton, has an American accent. So that is kind of weird.
Yeah. Probably the
Talk
mother.
normally. You're not in the land of weird teeth and pantyhose. Are you defective or something?
Why do children upset you this much?
And why do you always hate British people?
Listen, I'm not saying that I hate them, but doesn't she sound really annoying?
Something tells me that you had that coming.
Motherfucker!
I swear, if I hit the minigame
Got
on top of
me.
this, I might flip. Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah. Alright, on to the last part. Episode 8. Let's go.
All right, this is the episode that we have to beat this night. We can't let this run rampant anymore.
Easier said than
Exactly.
done, Joe. We've been playing Go Fish with a tentacle monster and have lost every round. What do you want us to do different?
Try not to use the cameras as much and rely on your ability to detect where the sounds are coming from.
That was my plan. The world's best security guard will adapt and overcome.
Geez, you read like ChatGPT sometimes, Donald.
What's ChatGPT?
So you know the advancement of artificial intelligence recently, right?
Right.
Well, as the forefront of AI had been implemented in our official cybersecurity years ago, everyday citizens were able to obtain and develop source code that fetched data from a giant pool of resources to make one intelligent engine.
Put that into baby words.
I think Joe can understand that.
He's talking for himself.
I was actually referring to both of us.
Fair enough.
Big computer is
Okay,
the
then.
best, the very best.
Now we're talking my language.
So what about this thing?
One of its features is that it can simulate people talking to each other, or even carry out whole arguments.
So what are you saying? Do you want us to pretend that we're getting into an argument?
Let's throw up a prompt about us and see where we can get to.
Baby, have you ever heard of the quiet game?
What are you putting in?
I'm putting in the prompt that says, simulate Donald Trump asking questions to Joe Biden about the Senate. And this is what it spits out. Let's read it like a script here.
This is stupid. I'm trying to play a game here.
Let's entertain him.
Hey, Joe, I've been thinking about the Senate lately. It's a pretty important part of our government, wouldn't you say? Is this AI half-coded? Of course I know this. I'm a president, not a third-grade teacher.
Absolutely, Donald. The Senate plays a crucial role in shaping our nation's laws and policies. What's on your mind? Huh, not that off.
Well, I always found it interesting how the Senate can impact the direction of the country. What do you think about the filibuster? Some people say it slows things down,
No, we
while
need
others
the
think it
filibuster.
protects minority rights. Why is it making me talk like Miss Frizzle?
It's painting you as some sort of man of courtesy and honor, Donald. Was it drunk when it made this?
It can indeed slow down legislative progress, but it's also meant to ensure that different viewpoints are considered before making significant decisions. I feel like I'm doing an educational skit for a college.
I get that, but you know, during my time, we had a Republican majority in the Senate. I can't do this anymore. I have to play the game, and this is terrible.
That was certainly something.
To be fair, the way you guys really act isn't that documented, so the resource that it pulls from isn't that true.
It makes us look as formidable as the Teletubbies. AI must be brain dead or something.
Jesus Christ.
Guys, do you know what time of the month it is?
I didn't know Jill still got those, but it is Michelle's time of the month, too.
I was talking about Halloween, Barack.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant.
Gross.
I don't want to hear it. You held a Disney parade when your daughter got married.
Pixar. Disney has gone too woke for our families and needs to be condemned by DeSantis.
Anyways, we've gone this entire month of October without really mentioning Halloween. And that is a bit of an issue considering we run a channel entirely dedicated to horror games.
It's not like we're the kill count, unless we're counting how many times Ennard has strangled us with its own spinal cord.
The kill count always goes over horror movies. It's almost like a similar genre to what we do.
Let's be real, this isn't Presidents Play Horror Games. This is Presidents Play Five Nights at Freddy's, starring Baldy and Akamanto.
You think I'm not aware of that and not trying to fix it?
I know my criticism is always appreciated, Joe.
What are your guys' thoughts on Halloween, anyways?
What do you expect me to
Freaking love
say?
'em.
It's a terrific time for family and sweet treats. It's always a good time, a very
yeah.
good time when you can dress up as something like a vampire or a monster and beg for candy.
I didn't know Lauren Boebert was a Halloween costume.
I was going to say Mitch McConnell.
Are you kidding me? Who wants to be a dying slug for Halloween?
Speaking of politicians, you know, there's people that go as us, right?
I thought that was just common knowledge.
Yeah.
Most young kids dress up as the people they most want to be. And I think we can all agree that everyone would want to live a day in my shoes.
I don't know. Clown shoes are pretty big. Most kids won't be able to fit in them.
Well, hospital patients don't wear shoes either, so I guess it's all even.
Don't get me started on your feet, Barack.
How did we get to talking about toes?
Yeah.
This isn't Feet Finder. What do we think of Halloween?
We really are old.
I am a big fan of this, the entire horror genre. You name it, and I probably have either seen it or read about it. Of course, Halloween, being a tradition about horror, is on that list too.
What do you mean, the entire horror genre?
Any media related to horror, books, movies, video games, folk tales.
Wait, books? You're telling me those onion-stained eyes can read?
Not as well as
Yeah.
they used to, but I consumed an absurd amount of horror back in the day. For example, I used to love reading Goosebumps.
Goosebumps. You just hit me with a wave of nostalgia. I
Yep.
entirely forgot about those books.
And I am
That's the
feeling
series that R.L.
old.
Stein wrote, right?
Yeah, they were small horror stories that typically followed crazy situations that led to monsters.
Yep.
Sort of like a kid-friendly version of Buffy, the Vampire Slayer.
That's another thing I forgot I watched.
I remember my daughters would bring home those books from school all the time. I picked up one of those books out of curiosity, and it was about this wooden dummy that comes to life.
Yeah, you're talking
Yeah.
about Slappy. He's pretty much the mascot of the Goosebumps series.
What's
Yep.
with authors and making inanimate objects come to life?
To be fair, it is a very creepy doll. It would be a missed opportunity not to make something out of it.
Speaking
Yeah.
of, there's this game that actually has Slappy in it, along with a couple other characters. It's called Emily Wants to Play. We might have
Oh
to try it out
God,
sometime.
Emily
It
wants
could
to
be
play.
fun.
Whenever you say the
No.
word fun in a horror game, it typically isn't fun. Are you serious right now?
So
I'm
much for
surprised I didn't
Halloween
really jump
Fright.
that much.
I'm not even scared anymore. I'm just annoyed. It's like FNAF 2 all over again.
Well, I think you guys have struggled enough. Considering I want this to end before we drag the series on, I think it's best if I step in and carry the workload for this one,
Okay.
or at least try.
Well, throw Slappy to Ennard. He might have a solution for you.
I'm grabbing the tequila if we're going to be here another 30 tries.
Something you guys haven't commented on is the monitors in front of us. Don't they look familiar?
Yeah, FNAF 4.
Wait, the one on the right is the hallways with plush trap from FNAF 4.
I think you meant the
left?
monitor on the left.
Yeah.
That.
Obama, I think they all might be from FNAF 4. The bed and the bedroom are on the other monitors.
So what does this
Yeah.
even mean? I thought you said FNAF 4 was just a dream.
I said that it was heavily speculated to be a dream. I never said that it was a surefire guarantee. A lot of what I said was just speculation anyways, but you can't really deny what you see.
So does that mean that the fourth game was before Sister Location?
And what does William Afton have to do with all this?
That's what the lore explanation will reveal. After the FNAF movie, I plan to explain everything then.
This might be the first time the
Good luck
universe
with
has
that one.
physically compelled me to say that I am not looking forward to being the world's best security guard.
So you're
Damn.
pretty much a jack of all trades when it comes to horror stuff, right, Joe?
I'd say so. I'm not an expert on every little thing ever, but I do know a decent amount of media around horror.
He's obsessed with it, unhealthily, if I might add.
Nothing wrong with a guy that develops hobbies over the small things in life.
Well, an adjacent subject to that matter is horror movies, Joe. Since you're the concierge of horror games, what would be your favorite horror movie?
Interesting, really putting me on the spot here. Might take some time to conjure up an answer and a reason why.
I'll go for you, Joe. If we're talking about horror movies, the cream of the crop has got to be A Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, Freddy Krueger stalks you in your dreams. How cool is that?
It is unique to say the least. An interesting twist on a slasher genre that has been mostly oversaturated.
Think about having that superpower, Obama. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Well, you know what? I'm going to torture you in your dreams tonight. How about them apples?
Freddy Krueger's victim list typically strayed alongside young adults, though.
Don't try to argue logistics with me. If the lady's going 25 miles an hour in a 40 zone, she's going to feel some pain that night.
Nice to know you don't care about what you say online.
I don't live off the opinions of the woke. Thank you very much.
We could go all day with this, but I think I have my answer, Barack.
Let's hear it from the horror guru himself.
I think my favorite movie, and the most well-constructed for natural effects, is The Thing.
The movie about the scientists in the snow?
Yeah, there's a shape-shifting creature amongst them, and they have to deduce which people it could have infected.
Everything about it is great. The story builds to an amazing finish. The practical effects are amazing. And my favorite aspect out of all of them is that the scientists are intelligent individuals. It's
Except
not
for
just
Starfall.
people making stupid decisions like all horror movie tropes. They're just smart people who let their humanity get the best of them.
It's interesting because while the thing itself is the main antagonist, it puts the limitation of trustworthiness on the line. They had to not only survive the thing, but they had to survive themselves as well. I think that's not very credited for the attention it's given.
Well, of course, my favorite movie might change, especially if I can see the FNAF movie coming up.
I can't wait to see the mess at the movie theater.
What's your favorite horror movie, Barack?
What's the 44th president going to pick here?
My favorite horror movie would probably have to be Jaws.
Please tell me the first one.
Of course, the first one.
Okay. We would have had a problem if you said the third movie.
The attack of the 3D printer.
Never before has a movie created a visceral fear and hatred of something as irrelevant as shark attacks. And it did it to an amazing degree. I think it was one of the first innovations as a horror movie because it massively transformed people's courage to swim in the ocean.
Sort of like it was the granddaddy of all horror movies. Yeah, that makes sense. It paved the way for a lot of movies that would follow after.
Like a true pioneer.
Wait, you got to 3 a.m. with over half your power. How did you do that?
Like I've said before, managing your power is incredibly crucial, just like the first game. It's also more difficult, too, because there isn't time after the clock that'll help us. We need to reach 6 a.m. before the power goes out.
We're on the right track so far. What's been the most challenging for you, Joe?
Just like the last game, it's imperative to pay attention to the sounds, to conserve as much power as possible. And these ears can only pick up sounds as well as they do. Luckily, this game isn't so dependent as the fourth one when it comes to audio.
So if your hearing aid starts making a crackling noise, all of America is about to see the current president take an underwater visit to Davy Jones' locker.
I think if my hearing aid starts making a crackling noise, I might already be underwater.
Fair enough.
And it would still be better than listening to Baby ramble on like an old person at a Bob Evans.
The important thing to remember is that we're almost done with the game, and we'll never have to hear this rambling session again.
Yeah, but I can't help but
You gotta get through
remember
it
Joe
first.
talking about how the quality of the games improve over time. And I'm scared for what the next game has to offer.
Buckle your seatbelt and prepare for 3 times more yapping sessions than we have now.
I can't tell if that's sarcasm dragging in your voice or just old age. I'm hoping for the former of the two.
Maybe it's better if you don't know then.
I don't want to jump on the hype train too much, but you're already at 5 a.m. We just need to stretch to the mark a bit more, and we might have the win.
Please don't shatter the mirror, Obama. I really don't want 7 years of bad luck.
I don't even know if we have 7 years left.
However you say the old folktale, I really do not want to play through this again. A part of me is just sitting here waiting for Ennard to devour us whole.
I don't think any of us want that. This isn't even a custom night, but we really don't want to play this night for 30 more times. I'd rather eat dirt, figuratively and literally.
I think it helps we have Joe the horror sorcerer here. I allowed him to tap into my power as the world's best security guard. It's only fair that he would be doing so well.
I don't know about all of that, but Joe is
Okay,
performing
Trump.
incredibly well. He's practically spawn camping the button as soon as he hears a sound.
You have to have quick reaction times with this sort of night.
5%, Joe? Don't
How
fall
the
asleep on the
fuck?
monitors now.
I will find a way out.
And there we go. It's done.
We've been freed from the yap sessions, Obama. It's over.
That's how you know that we're getting old. We don't even celebrate that we beat the night. We're just slightly relieved at the inconvenience it posed as.
Oh, come on. You've got to admit that it's been a pretty big inconvenience. Oh, not this thing.
I forgot about this. It's
As
been
the
half a
breeze
century since we
sway
were
in
able
the
to watch it.
wind, so also do emotions sway between star-crossed lovers.
This is the vampire, right?
You burned down my house.
That answer your question?
Why?
House. It was like a morgue in there.
I may be undead, but you're heartless.
They don't have the best
You
communication,
need
it
to see your
seems.
son.
To be fair, I think I'm a better father than this guy.
He ate the cat.
What?
Sounds like something he got from your side of the family.
Interesting.
Well, how's this? I'm keeping the diamond ring.
The joke's on you. I found it in a kid's meal.
Kids meal?
What?
Oh, Vlad.
Clara.
What is happening?
What am I watching? Get a room at least.
Wait, is that the resolution of the
As
show?
the hair on the back of a cat stands up straight, so also does the love between Vlad and Clara stand up against
And
all
there goes the cat.
obstacles. But what about the baby?
He's actually eating
What
the
about
cat?
background
Someone punt that
support?
baby.
Stay tuned next season for those answers and more.
There goes the exotic butters
Well, that was
there.
certainly something.
This show gets another season, but mine gets taken off the air. Make it make sense.
And hello there,
What?
Ennard.
Joe?
Why is he here? And why is he doing the stanky leg in our living room?
Hey, I'm just here to eat popcorn.
Well, what do we even do about this? How did he even escape to begin with?
And now it's fading to
Exactly.
black. And now it's the credits again.
Are you serious? That was the good ending? What does this even mean? How am I more confused than the last time?
Donald, before you start freaking out, the canon ending is the bad ending, the one where we get scooped. So you don't have to worry about the continuity of this ending.
Great. Now I only have to
That's
feel half
good
bad
and
about getting
all,
my
but
skin
still.
worn.
So I guess we're on to the custom night now, right?
Actually, I don't think we'll be playing the custom night. Yes, it adds more animatronics to the playing field, but we've been playing this game for quite some time. And I want to prepare for the new movie coming up.
So wait, that's it? We're going to move on to the lore explanation now?
There's one more thing that I want to show you guys. It has to do with this game, but I personally don't want to replay each night to get it. I'll just pull a video of it up.
Okay.
What the?
Oh,
Is this a guy just
thing.
leaving his house? What's with all the
After they got
cheery
s-
music?
after,
And why is every
the
single
scooping
neighbor in the tri-state area
incident.
out there waving to him?
is this the thing you had to show us, Joe? I mean, I know it's FNAF due to the art style, but I'm confused how this relates to the game at all.
Yeah, this is it. It may be a bit confusing, but just wait some time and you'll figure out why we're watching this.
Well, there he goes.
Exactly.
Seemingly, not a single intelligent thought going on in that brain. And I guess we're doing it all over again.
This
And
guy
now
is
he's
certainly
already
a favorite
discoloring.
amongst the neighborhood. He seems so jolly, too. I wonder why he's so happy to exist.
Is this what the Truman Show is about?
Basically.
Does this guy ever not be happy-go-lucky? Why do you walk like you have a Pringle can in the middle of your intestines?
Hey, Donald, do you notice anything weird? Like how some of the neighbors are no longer waving at him? And how his skin looks slightly darker?
Are you saying that this person
slightly
resides in
green.
Harrison, Arkansas?
What? No, what does that have to do with anything?
Never mind. You wouldn't get the joke.
Do you see what's wrong with his
It
skin
becomes
now?
the purple
Wait, this is the
color.
purple guy. I didn't know he was literally purple. I thought it was just an indicator.
I think you guys can already see it, but now he's not too popular amongst his neighbors.
Yeah, some of them are even hiding behind their own houses while they watch him just saunter by. How creepy.
Willy Wonka ate the wrong gobstopper this
Yeah.
time.
What is happening right now?
I don't even have any reaction to this anymore. This creature with the posture of a snake is who bodied the children. Yeah, everybody should be hiding from him. He looks like an overgrown eggplant.
Yeah, it must be certainly something I witnessed firsthand.
And the freakazoid just keeps moving on like nothing is a problem.
I don't even. Wait, something is happening.
Is he trying to pose for
throw
a
up.
photo? Wait, what's moving in his body?
What am I looking at? What the?
Did he just throw up a Honda Accord? What was that?
Wait, Donald, this is us. I think we just threw up Ennard.
Is that what that was?
You won't die. You won't die. You won't die.
And now the voices are getting louder.
Why does it keep saying we won't die? We're already dead.
You won't die. You won't die.
And it's not stopping either.
You won't die.
What the?
Is he a snake?
Yep.
How did he just compose himself from a coil?
Well, wait, Donald, look at the
all the
drain, bro.
eyes.
Look at all those eyes. That really was Ennard.
I give up. I physically cannot make sense of this game anymore. I was following with the first 4 games, and now it's like I just got thrown into the middle of a hedge maze.
I know it's confusing, but to briefly summarize it, we didn't actually die when we were scooped. Ennard used
How?
our body
That's
to
the thing.
escape, but we end up throwing it up because it can't fit in there. Somehow we wind up living.
I'm not going to ask. Just
Yeah,
take us to the 6th
somehow.
game, Joe.
Let me recap. We work at this sister location. It's haunted. The owner's daughter dies. We end up getting lied to and scooped, and eventually we end up throwing up what was put in us. Simple enough?
Yeah.
Just take us to the 6th game, Joe.
Oh, lordy, but yeah, that's it for Sister Location. Not really much of jump scare or me getting scared. But overall, but yeah, that's really it. That's it for Sister Location. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching that. If you did, be sure to like, favorite, and subscribe, and also ring that notification bell to be notified when I do on this channel. Eventually, I'll get onto the 6th one, whatever that, I can't remember what that one is. I think the Pizzeria Simulator one, and then the Ultimate Custom Night, I think. But either way, eventually I will get to those. So until then, my fellow gargoyles, see you guys next time.